friends, it's Dorit Shoshani here, and this video is called Giving from a Place of Love. And it might sound funny and contradictory, even maybe, like, how could we give from a place not of love? But we can give because we're just used to giving, and that's what we do as parents, as moms, or we can give with intention from a place of love, and that's a whole different picture. So we're going to unpack this and get clear on what this means. So as parents, we have a natural tendency to give, which is so, so beautiful. So as a mother, specifically, we give life. We house life inside our bodies, and then baby's born, and we continue to nourish the child through breastfeeding, through constant care, and we're naturally good at nourishing. And then we kind of feel very proud of ourselves. It feels like, wow, I can do this. I can make sure that everything is okay, and I can make sure that my baby is well taken care of. And we put all the focus on the other. I'm here to kind of maybe wake us up a bit and say, giving is a choice, even with our families, especially with our families. Because if we choose to give from a place of fullness. And then the deposit that we're making can be well received. When we give from a place of emptiness, when we give after running on fumes, meaning we haven't slept, we haven't taken care of ourselves, we haven't eaten, but everyone's pulling at us, so we have to give, then we're not really giving. We're actually just trying to achieve quiet. And achieving quiet is very different from giving. And I invite you to maybe take a moment to reflect back on what you are doing specifically in your parenting. Are you giving intentionally? Are you giving from a place of fullness? Or are you giving because you feel like that's just what needs to happen so that everybody is in place and everything is quiet and nobody's arguing or nobody's crying, and then I feel like I've deserved my good mom badge? So this might create a sense of unease inside, like, how dare I think that I'm giving from a place that's not just pure love or that's not just nourishing. And it might be that you really intend to nourish your child, and so you're up all night because you just want to make sure that they're okay. They're not sleeping, but it's my job to give, so I'll get up 6 times a night to make sure that you're okay. But the truth is that if we understand that first we need to take care of ourselves, and only from there can we take care of our child, then we recognize that getting up 6, 7 times at night cannot be a recipe for success. I think many of you know by now that I am, together with my partner Rivka Klein, we have created the GPS Within, which is an amazing system for living life with authenticity and intention. I invite you to check it out under the gpswithin.com. So in the GPS Within, we have a fundamental principle that says, if it's not good for one, it's not good for anyone. I'm going to repeat that because for me, this was a life-changing concept. If it's not good for one, it's not good for anyone. That means if something's not good for me, it can't be good for the other. That is conflicting maybe in our thinking. How could it be that, let's just take our child and our sleep situation as an example. My child is waking up 6 times at night and needs me to nurse in order to get him back to sleep. Okay, let's say that our child is 6 months old at this point, and he's waking up 6 times at night because he needs to nurse back to sleep. Now, if I'm at the point where I'm loving this and it's wonderful for me, and every time I get up, I'm like very eager to connect with my child, everything is perfect, and I have nothing to say about that. But if getting up 6 times a night, even one of those times, hits a rumbling strip, which is also a part of the GPS Within, that's a GPS Within concept, which basically means that something inside of me is saying, no, I don't want to get up again. This cannot be true. This cannot be happening to me. Please make it stop. If that's what we're experiencing, then getting up for your child cannot be right for them either. Because if it's not good for one, it's not good for anyone. And so I invite you to think about how the situations that you're encountering feel for you. Do they feel right for you? Does it feel like a truth for you? Because if it doesn't feel like a truth for you, it cannot be fueling a healthy relationship with the other. So together with that, I want you to think about giving as a choice, meaning you get to choose if it's right for you to give. It's not always right for you to give. It's not right for you to give when you have nothing to give because you're exhausted, because you're beyond feeling capable of getting up again, because it just doesn't feel right for you. That in and of itself is a good enough reason to reevaluate the way that you're going about doing things. So I invite you to think about when you're doing something, when you are giving to your children, when you are giving to your family, if that's coming from a place of fullness and of intention, or if it's coming on autopilot, if it's coming from just doing what you're used to doing and not really giving it too much thought. Because if it's not good for you, it cannot be right for your child. And I'm going to leave you with that. And I want you to ponder that for a little bit and think about it and maybe revisit it when you're actually giving again. And think to yourself, am I really giving from a place of wanting to give, from a place of intention? Or am I giving because it's just the way that I'm used to going about my day or my nights, and I'm just on autopilot, so I'm not giving it much thought? Because you can change the situation around just by observing what you're doing and seeing if what you observe sits right with you, or if it actually is a red flag saying maybe something here needs to change. So now you might think to yourself, okay, Dorit, so that sounds great, but so then what does that mean for me? Like, I'm just gonna let my baby cry all night and not feed him because it's not right for me to get up anymore? I mean, how do I differentiate now what is really a place of giving and what is just autopilot? And so I invite you to think about the word nourishing, because when we are giving, we want to be nourishing. And the first person we need to be nourishing is ourselves. If we nourish ourselves, we become a much stronger entity. And then we have much more capability to give from a place of love. So you're right. It doesn't mean now that you're not going to get up all night because you just decide you're not going to get up. But you can think about how you want to nourish yourself, and you can think about how you want to nourish your child. First comes you, then comes the child. And so getting up 6 times might not be the way you want to nourish your child, but maybe getting up once or twice could be. And the other rest of the times that your child's getting up, you can rethink and reevaluate the way that you're showing up for them in order to create a different dynamic, to shift that dynamic into a place that's more right for you. I'm going to leave you with that for this video. I want you to think about what we've talked about and see and share with me. How does this meet you? Write in the comments and let me know kind of where your questions are and what I can clarify for you. You can also meet me in my live Q&As twice a month where we will discuss this in person, and you can bring it up and we can discuss it and we can come up with ideas for how you can act more in accordance with your values and give truly from a place of love, first for yourself and then for your family, for your children, for your partner. All right, guys, so thank you for being with me. I want to invite you, if you still haven't gotten your child sleeping through the night, please grab my free guide, The 3 Main Reasons Why Your Child is Still Not Sleeping Through the Night. It's free. It's on my website, DoritShoshani.com. Let's get that going. Let's get your child sleeping, and then we can move on to bigger and better topics. I will see you in the next video.